Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I don't know where you're dialing in from. I'm so excited that you're here. We're going to give people a few minutes to jump in. So, my little head count just dropped. If you're still on and my head count's not working, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We're giving people a chance to join this morning. I hope you're having a fabulous day. It's morning here. I don't know where everybody's calling in from. I am in Southern California. Where are you today? You can use the chat feature to mention where you are. Chat feature does require that you have a YouTube account. You also can DM me on Instagram. I'm also there at Alesha Energy. Make sure I get the phone out of the pocket so I see those if they come through. We're going to give a few more minutes for people to jump in. So I'll ask while we're waiting for folks, what is one thing that you are excited about from this past week? What happened this week that was either exciting or particularly encouraging or good or felt calm or felt successful? What felt happy for you this week? So let me share what happened for me this week that was absolutely amazing. Um, the original QL cruise started in January 2025. And so they've been at it for about almost 18 months. So it'll be 18 months in a few weeks. And one of the super exciting things that happened was, well, let me backtrack. Whole reason I started QL Crew is that in 2023, we lost Baba, my mother-in-law, to complications from diabetes and dementia, and the two can go hand in hand. And one of the things that attracted me to my husband when I first met him 40 years ago was his brilliant brain. And I did not want his brain to experience the ravages that hers did. And so started to look for ways to just pay more attention to that. And that's how the Carb Coach app was born. I created that with a health data scientist. In case you haven't seen it, it's carb with a K, KARB COACH, one word, and created it because I wanted help choosing my nutrition more consciously. So that's the backstory. Was watching last week's episode of CBS Sunday Morning on Monday night, and they had this story from Massachusetts General Hospital about a brain health coalition, I think is the way they call themselves, who had developed this brain care score. So really quickly on Tuesday and Wednesday, I got a hold of all of the original QL crew members that I could. tour traveling. One was ill, so, I'll catch up with them later. But I conducted pre and post questionnaires, and their their scores went up between 5 and 8%, or excuse me, 5 and 8 points on a 21-point scale. That is a 23 to 38% boost in brain care score. And even our 80-plus-year-old members boosted by 5%. So that's, like, super, super excited. I'm gonna drop in the chat the links to the CBS News story and to the brain care score, just in case that's something that you want to try a pre and then maybe a post at some point after you've been with QL Crew for a little while. So yeah, super, super exciting. Throw in the chat, throw in the text, throw in Instagram DMs. What what was exciting for you this week? And I'll wait, give people a chance to jump in and comment. There's there's a little YouTube does a video lag for when people comment and when I say something, because they have to process my video. While you chat, I'm gonna, take a sip of my morning deliciousness. Mm. So, one of the things that has been super exciting for me in the last handful of months, I guess today's theme might be excitement, I don't know, is overcoming things that have held us back for years, decades, maybe. Maybe we've been coming to terms with societal expectations. I know I have. I read a great book called The Good Girl Unlearning, and it's not for girls only. It is written just from that perspective. It's available on Amazon, and I think I have the link somewhere. Let me grab that while I'm chatting. Um, Let me just pop onto another window here, though, so I don't screw up our video. Um, Good Girl Unlearning by Tamala. Da, da, da. Tamala Lyons, and on Instagram, Tamala Lyons is the holistic weaver. She's one of the amazing people that I follow. This book is actually getting passed around my kitchen table. If you're familiar with the term kitchen table, I first heard it from Michelle Obama. I don't know if she coined the term or not, but your kitchen table is your closest group of friends, the ones that you can call at 2 in the morning when your hair's on fire, um, and the people that you can really hash stuff out with. And so I bought the book earlier this year, I think right after the holidays, read it and passed it to one member of my kitchen table with the instruction that when she's done with it, she has to pass it to the next. And when they're done with it, they have to pass it to the next. Um, because there's so much of what we have learned growing up and what we've gone through growing up, and whether that's growing up as a kid or growing up in our adulthood, right? Because they can be really different. I had I had a pretty idyllic childhood. I grew up in California's Central Valley, and we didn't have much, but we didn't know that. And part of the reason we didn't know that is because my parents taught us that what we have is enough when we make it so. So, a lot of the societal things that I've dealt with and why this book has been so helpful to me, um, came in my professional career. And I'm still battling some of that. I am a woman in tech. I am 60 years old and I am blazing trails in artificial intelligence. And people look at me like, "How do you do this? You don't know anything. You're over 55. How do you know tech?" And it's like, "Honey, I've been through tech when tech was new. I rode the dot bomb," right? So those societal pressures and those societal mantles that we wear is part of what this book, The Good Girl Unlearning, again, it's by Tamala Lyons, helps us sort of learn to deal with. Sort of learn to deal with. Some of the strategies in that book are going to feel similar to some that we'll have coming up in Unit 9. I haven't published Unit 9 yet because I can see progress through content on my YouTube studio page. And I think the furthest person is partway through Unit 7. And so I watch that, and that's how I know when to drop new content. Because the last thing that I want is for someone to jump into the YouTube channel and be like, oh, I'm behind by 9 units. And here's a point that I wanted to bring up. I spoke to a potential new member a couple of weeks ago, and they've known about QL Crew since last year because their sister has been in it. Their sister is one of our huge success stories. Um, Gosh, I could go on and on all about her, but maybe you'll come to retreat in November and maybe she'll be there and maybe you'll meet her. Um, but I was chatting with this sister, and the sister was like, "Oh, I haven't gotten to it. I'm so far behind." And she's going to school. She's a working parent of young adults, which people think, "Oh, they finished." No, there's still parenting to do when they're young adults, um, and sometimes it takes a lighter hand and a little more mental, little more not mental, little more cognitive. But I was chatting with her and she's like, "I'm so far behind. I'm so far behind." I'm like, "No, no, 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 you're not behind. QL Crew is self-paced." Um, I say it's one of the hashtags on Instagram, "Start where you are," and the other one is "Do what you can do." That's what we're about. Start where you are, do what you can do. We have original crew members who are revisiting lessons. We have people who are just starting out on Unit 1. And there are other people who are watching as fast as I can publish. All of these are perfectly okay. QL Crew lessons are for everyone in this community, whether they've been here for 18 months or today is their first day. Maybe you're QL Crew curious. Maybe you just don't know yet if this is for you. Everyone is welcome. The only thing that I will say about the lessons is that doing them in order is recommended because they build on each other. So, QL Crew, we work on progress, not perfection. And guess what? Sometimes progress looks like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Um, One of my dearest friends had foot surgery, I think about maybe a month ago now. Sorry, my own calendar keeps my brain too busy, but maybe a month ago, maybe a little less. Um, and no, it was a month ago because I literally saw her on the 12th of April. So, um, and I spoke to her, uh and she was super, super frustrated because she felt like she had done too much one day and was in a super, super, super amount of pain another day. Some of you who know me know that I have old fractures in my spine. I've had a full knee reconstruction back when I was a teenager, and I had left foot reconstruction. I have 7 pins in my foot, in my left foot. But I don't let these stop me. But I will tell you, I've done more physical therapy than most people have done. I joke that I've had physical therapy for, um, holy crud, 30, 40, ooh, I can't do the math, 42 years now. It's a long time. Um, my physical therapist loves me because he sees me a lot. But the same way in physical therapy, when you push too far, um, and then you hurt like a the next day or 2 days later, that's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Do the math. 2 forward, 1 back is still progress. You still progressed 1, right? And that's what this is all about. So we set our intentions, we set our goals, and we work towards them. And life, because that's a full sentence, right? Life, period. It's a full sentence. Um, and then again, we pick up, we start where we are, and we do what we can do. I I had a fabulous holiday season. I had family home, parents visiting. My mom is one of the best bakers on the face of the planet. Um, and then I rolled into January and celebrated my big 6-0 birthday. Woot woot. Um, with, you know, just a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful group of friends. Um, and then what happened in February? Something happened in February. I don't remember what happened in February. Again, like I said, my calendar sits in my brain and spins around in there like a dancing squirrel. Um, Something happened in February, and I found myself in March having put back on 5 of the 15 pounds that I have lost this last 6 months. So I've lost 30 total since starting QL Crew. But I started before everybody else started in 2025. I started in October 2024. So I've had a little bit more time. Um, and weight loss was one of my goals. It's not everybody's goal. It was one of my goals because my doctor keeps bugging me about it. And with Carb Coach, now I can put my doctor's recommendations into practice because I get what she's saying now, and I can go into that later or another day. Point being, somewhere around the beginning of March, I stepped on the scale. I have funny little things that help me remember to do things, like I water my plants on Wednesday, Water Wednesday. And then Tuesday is Truth Tuesday. I get on the scale on Tuesday mornings. And I had kind of forgotten to do that through parts of January. January was just a blur, but evidently February is a blur too, because I don't remember what went on in February that slowed me down. Um, but I stepped on the scale and went, oh, what's that movie? Macaulay Culkin, something home, where he goes, ah, that's what I felt like because I worked really hard, and was very conscientious. And so I had put back on those 5, and I'm like, oh no. Well, okay. So start where you are and do what you could do. First thing, start where you are is recognize where my habits had fallen off, because life, right? Life. We are not going to be perfect. We are all about progress, not perfect. Um, so I had, taken a step back, right? 2 steps forward, 1 step back. I had taken a step back. So start where you are. So the first thing I did was I thought about it. I'm like, okay, where did my habits fall off? Right. And then by starting where I am, I was like, okay, this was a Tuesday. Like, I don't grocery shop on Tuesday. I wasn't going to run out to the grocery store again because we'd already bought groceries for the week. And so I just paid attention that week, and I plugged back into using my app. And I know where I went off using the app a little bit in February, the Carb Coach app, and that's because, as the creator of it, I have to do the testing when we launch new features, and we just launched an update not too long ago. So I had to do all the testing of that, which erases my data. I have to keep downloading and putting it back in. Y'all don't have to do that. So I wasn't consistent. I wasn't consistently getting my data. So I know that was part of my problem in February, but I can't blame it on that, right? Can't blame it on that. I still know what my habits are. I still know I still know what works for me and what feels good for me. And again, this is not a prescription. I am not a medical doctor. I am not a nutritionist. I am not even a fitness coach. I am just a curious person. I used to say over 50, but I guess now I have to say 60. I'm not quite over 60, but well, I guess I am a few days, several days, lots of days, several months. Holy crud, time goes fast. Um, anyway, I'm a curious person over 60 who wanted to make changes in my own life and my family's life. And so I did a boat ton of research and, came up with the lessons that are in QL Crew uh, on here on YouTube and the inspirations that you get on Instagram. And I recentered and I got back to my practices. I uh, paid attention to the intensity of my fitness and upped that. I had upped it way a lot in December, excuse me. Um, excuse me, and actually tackled some little baby hills that are near me that have been daunting me for years. Tackled them successfully. So got back on track, right? By doing what I could do. Now I couldn't go back out and do those hills that very next day, right? Because I let it slide for a couple of months. And so started where I was, went back to, okay, let me do my 2 mile route because I know my 2 mile route is pretty level. It's got a teeny, teeny hill. So I did my 2 mile route. My 3 mile route is it's got a little bit steeper hill. My 4 mile route kicks my butt. My goal is the 5 mile route, and these are all in my community. I'm fortunate that way. Not everyone has places where they can safely walk. Um, I know folks who live in wintry places who find shopping malls to go walk in, especially because malls in a lot of America are a little bit less populated these days. So it's kind of a good place to go walk. When I was traveling back in April, I had a decent layover. I think, where was I? Maybe Phoenix. Decent layover. And so during my layover, I walked just up and down, had my little rolly and my backpack and just walked almost the entire time. So do what you can do, right? Start where you are. Do what you can do. Again, we work on progress, not perfection. And progress some days looks like 2 steps forward and 1 step back. Before we wrap up, and again, if you have any questions, drop them in the chat, shoot me a text, shoot me a DM. To drop them in the chat, you have to have a YouTube account. To set up a YouTube account, there is a way so that you can set it up where it does not show your name. Um, like if you're like my email is energy Alesha because somebody already has Alesha Energy on Gmail. So my email is energy Alesha. Um, if I didn't want other participants in a live, obviously not my own, if I didn't want someone else in my uh, live to see my name, there's a way to set up a YouTube account where it does not show the name that is in your email, right? So you can do that. Oh, hey, Tamila has joined us. Sorry, Tamila. I keep remembering her name is said like Tamila, like Pamela. Tamila, so happy you're here. We just raved all over your book a little bit ago. Um, so yeah. Again, throw your questions, your comments in chat, DM me on Instagram, text me if you've got my number, because QL Crew is a community, right? And some of you I've known for 40 years. Some of you are brand new to me, like Tamla. Um, and that's fine that you're late. Again, everything in QL Crew is self-paced. Show up when you can, start where you are, do what you can do. Um, before we close, I want to chat about QL Crew Retreat. We're thinking about doing it again in November, early November. It's a community gathering. I've got to pull my notes up the page a little bit here. Excuse me 1 second. It's a community gathering. We spend a weekend together sharing meals, doing optional, every activity is optional, light movement, mindfulness, and we have conversations around quality longevity. We're a group of peers. learning alongside of each other. None of us are medical practitioners, wellness coaches, or nutritionists, right? This is not fitness guru land. Um, this isn't guru anything land. The like I said, we're aiming for early November, and I would appreciate it if you would take the survey. I'm dropping the link in the chat by May 15th, because I need to decide, first of all, whether or not early November is going to work. And then I need to go book a locale, um, based on, how many people I think we're going to have. Again, community gathering, right? Not about perfection. None of us are experts. We're all community members going through this together. Like I said, on my own journey, I just started uh, 3 months before the original QL crew members. Um, like I said, original QL crew's been here for about 18 months. It'll be 18 months next month. And, some people it's their first day. So welcome, 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 welcome. Um, I just appreciate all of you so much. Last year during retreat, we shopped together, we cooked together, we ate together. Um, the activities that we did, we accommodated for all kinds of various levels. Um, and we had rich, insightful, inspiring discussions. If you want little snippets of that, pop onto my Instagram page. Any of the posts where someone is wearing a teal colored QL Crew t shirt, those are original members. The comments that they have in those videos were recorded with their permission, during retreat last year. And you'll see, right? We are all ages, we are all shapes and sizes. We come from the south side of Chicago, we come from the heart of the Central Valley. I was so sad last year. We have one member who lives in Guadalajara, Mexico. She was not able to make it last year, because travel back in November across borders for her was a little scary. She is working already to try to get here this year. So, yeah, we have about 4 minutes left. If there's any questions, I'm happy to answer those. If there's not, you know me, I can talk all dang day. Um, I'm excited about heading to a mindfulness expo today. I'm going with two intentions. So here's something I learned at the conference that I attended in April. Again, like I said, I am a woman in AI, right? I am 60 years old and I'm banging down doors in artificial intelligence and leading packs, right? So I go to this conference every year. It's the Information Architecture Conference. Information architecture is sort of a necessary foundation to artificial intelligence working well. And I'm going to shut up about the tech because I could go on about that. But I've gone to that conference every year since 2014. In 2014, I went with goals. Um, and I've gone with goals every year. And I usually get close to those goals. But if you can't tell, I'm an extreme extrovert and I have a tendency to get caught up in the flow. And so every now and then I'll miss a goal while I'm at that conference. So another amazing person that I know, Jasmine Abram, um, and I have been talking about being intentional, and being intentional is the intention. So we think we need to put that on a t-shirt. Being intentional is the intention. And so leading into the conference this year, I set intentions instead of goals. And you know what? Was so much easier for me to stay on track. So much easier for me to stay on track because I could remind myself of my intention. It felt deeper, resonated more. And so, let me end today with a couple of intentions First of all, my intention for QL Crew, for quality longevity, is that we all find our motivating connection, that thing that helps us anchor into our intention, right? For me, I've done the math. I had my daughter late in life, and my mom was just at her college graduation last June. Um, and she's maybe found her person. So maybe in some handful of years, there may be a wedding. I don't know. I don't know what their plans are. Um, but I did the math. Having my daughter late in life, if I want to see that kid's kid, so assuming, and all of these are assumptions, right? Assuming my kid waits to have kids like I did, and they may not, they may never have kids. I don't know. Um, if I wait for as long as they, as if they wait to have children, if they have children, not dictating anyone's life, if they wait the way I waited, I have to be 96 if I want to see that grand graduate college. And if I want to see that grand, and again, this is a lot of ifs, if I want to see that grand get married, I have to be here till I'm 104. And I don't want to be 104 sitting like my father in law was with an oxygen tank in my nose and unable to get up off the sofa. Like, that is not the way I want to be a grand, right? A grand of a grand. So, my motivating connection, the thing that sets this intention for me, is that I want to be an active grand if I get the chance to be a grand. And I know I'm going to get to be a half grand because my oldest niece is expecting um, and expecting a baby this summer. So I'm going to at least be a half grand. Um, and if I want to be active, I do want to be active. There's no if to that. I want to be active as a grand. I want to garden. I want to camp. I want to make sourdough pancakes on a grill over an open fire, right? Like that's the kind of grand I want to be. So that's my motivating connection. In units 1 and 2, we talk about finding your motivating connection. In unit 9, we actually talk about helping your loved ones find theirs. So, last thing I want to set for today is my intentions. So, my intentions with QL Crew is that y'all find your motivating connection so that you can build your own quality longevity. These units can help. These units can help as the guide, right? Um, and then my intention for today, I'm going to this mindfulness expo, and I'm going with two things in mind, two intentions in mind. One is to determine whether or not this is a space for me in future years or in other settings, right? I did at the Information Architecture Conference, I did a poster presentation about transitioning your skills into artificial intelligence. Um, and I didn't dig that format. It was science fair format, didn't dig that. So going to this mindfulness expo today with intention one being, is this a space for me? Right? With the Carb Coach app, again, KARBCOACH, one word, or not a space for me? Is it a space for QL Crew? I don't know. We're a community group. We're not, QL Crew is not a business. So I don't know. So that's intention one. Intention two, like I looked at the sessions and there are some sessions, there are some things I've never experienced. There's somebody doing a sound bath. There's somebody doing, and I might be saying this wrong, ying, yin, is that ying or yin? Sorry. Yin yoga, which I've never done. So I'm looking forward to that. And then I'm also um, intending to learn, there's another session on driving revenue, right? And obviously with Carb Coach, that's the point. Well, it's not the point. It's this that's the side benefit. So those are my intentions for today: is to learn if this is a space for me as the creator of this app or this community, and to experience some things that I've never had a chance to experience before. So before you get out of your chair or your seat of your car, or you know take your earbuds out of your phone, out of your head if you're still walking, set your intention for the day. What is your intention for today? I leave you with absolute joy, absolute excitement. Again, check out the CBS News brain care score uh, information. If you came in late and you want some info on that, find it on Instagram. I just posted about it on Thursday because I literally finished the brain care score pre and post questionnaire with some of our original members on Wednesday night. I love it. I love some of the comments. Never too old to learn. You're exactly right. And again, check out the QL crew comments. The QL crew, again, the people in the teal shirts that say QL crew on the Instagram page, and take the survey about retreat. I'm dropping that link one more time. If you can do that by the 15th, that would be fabulous. Any questions before we go? There's a 10-second delay between what I say and whether or not I see your comments, so we'll wait. That's the one part I hate about YouTube Live. All right, beautiful people. Our next live is going to be June. It's a Saturday, so June 13th, I think is the date. Yeah, June 13th. June 13th. June 13th. More coffee, please. June 13th, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. I hope to see you there. I hope to see you on Instagram in between. Have an intentional day. Take care.